Hey, today I want to share how did I help my OCD and what did I do to improve my state, because my state got to that extent when it was so bad that sometimes I couldn't leave the house for like 40 minutes. I had to check if everything was off like 100 times at least, and I started to help myself by taking some photos to be sure that all is off and that I don't need to come back later. But that idea is just leads to nowhere. It's not a good idea because it's not improving the situation and it's not treating the OCD. It's just making it worse, because later I stopped believing the photos as well, which I took like a second ago. OCD is like obsessive compulsive disorder. In my case, I want to say that it's like more like anxiety, like more like generalized anxiety disorder, I think. But it doesn't matter, because whatever type of OCD it is, like if you always washing your hands, or you afraid of something specific, you're compulsively acting on something, the base is anxiety, I think, anyway, because you have a fear of something. Let's say I have fear when I'm thinking that I didn't switch something off. I have anxiety that I will come back and I didn't lock the door and the apartment would be robbed, for instance. Or I'm afraid that if I didn't switch off the gas, I would come back and the house would be burnt for my fault. And that's the fear. So obviously, no matter how on what these anxiety projects, it can be pretty annoying and really bother your life a lot. So I was really thinking like trying to take some medicine, go to doctor, get like a proper help, because it was really bothering me to leave like a lot, and gave me a lot of distress. But I tried to do one thing. Well, firstly, I want to say that try to do like more sports, because it really helps. That may be why I became more active at some point, and you get like more tired, and you don't have as much energy for doing your compulsive actions. In my case, like checking light, gas and door. Like I can tell that the only thing which was stopping me from checking the door for maybe 100 times in a row is that at some point I thought that if I don't stop touching the door, this door would just break, literally. So I was like trying to tell myself, like I replaced it with another anxiety, like anxiety for breaking the door. So it kind of stopped the OCD type of anxiety, and I was like, I literally, it will be broken in a second if I do it for no reasons again. So no matter how hard I try to convince my own self during those episodes, for example with the light, that it has to be switched off, that we're not in the beginning of 20th century when electricity was just invented, that if the light is even on, nothing bad would happen. I can come back and it will be safe, it will be okay, it can't explode or anything. But obviously this other part, which is like the crazy part, doesn't believe anything. It's not easy to convince, it's kind of nearly impossible. Well, that's why it's called a disorder, I think, because it needs some other tricky treatment, I'd say. So also interesting thing I want to say which helped me, except sport, is like keeping myself busier, because I'll tell you one example what happened to me when my OCD just disappeared for some time. Basically I was going to work, and I had work around for 7:50 in the morning, and my other work started at 9, and I forgot because I didn't write it in my Google Calendar. It happens to me very rarely, but it happened, so I wrote it down. I didn't write it down, and I was just having my morning coffee, relaxed everything, thinking that I had to be there at 9 and stuff, and then I'm having like a phone call at 7:54, something like that, saying sorry, I'm coming, I'm like running a bit late. And I'm like, what, where, like, and then I realized that shit, like, I have to be there, I had to be there already 5 minutes ago. And I'm quickly, very, very, very quickly getting changed and leaving the house. And guess what? Checking everything one time was enough for me to leave the place. I didn't need 100 times anymore. Though sometimes I woke up on purpose a bit earlier. I was starting to get ready a bit earlier, that because I knew that I can't leave house for a long time. But in this case, I was put in that circumstances when kind of, I think, other anxiety for being late for work and embarrassing myself, because I hate being late, especially for work. It's not my type at all. I really very responsible in that. Probably gave me more anxiety than Phipps would rob the apartment. I don't know, like, really. So I mean, that was very interesting. It just disappeared. Well, I checked everything only once and left, and I didn't need to come back anymore for any reason. And because I was literally like, I have to run to this work and everything. And yeah, it was literally one time when I checked everything. So I mean, keeping yourself busy like that, well, maybe not in that way, because that is very stressful and I don't recommend it, but maybe something else what could distract your mind that much that it can replace this anxiety. And the main thing what I did was restructuring this inner dialogue with myself, because before I was talking like a normal adult to a crazy person to myself. Like, the crazy person is like, no, everything will explode, thieves will come, like the fire will start, everything will happen, and you will be guilty for that. That is actually also could be one of the reasons of having OCD. For example, in my case, like being super responsible, being perfect, worried that, and telling this, I'm coming to the point now, which I wanted to share. So, like, being super responsible, perfect, and things like that, and not having a right to have a mistake or to have this guilt for, like, I don't know, for the house being robbed or fire all my life. And here, what I did to help that, I started to talk to myself differently, because instead of trying to convince myself the way I did, like, no, it's gonna be okay and everything like that, I started to reply in a rude way to that crazy part of mine, saying like, and so, yes, robbers will come and rob the whole house. Yes, let it happen. I'm bad. So I went from one like super responsible part, which wanna be like really perfect and everything, to this other part, which is absolutely ignorant and absolutely different from opposite from this a bit crazy part. So I basically started to turn from 100% anxiety and responsibility to 100% ignorance, and that way I kind of managed to build something closer to the middle. Well, something closer to the middle is too good for me at the moment, and I wish I can reach that, but definitely started to help me to get to the point of being in the middle for this, yeah, worry a little bit, check everything, you see everything, you trust yourself, you go, and that's it. And I started to respond to myself that, yeah, everything will burn, you let it burn everything, let the robbers take everything, let's be bad, at that point, let it happen, whatever would happen, let's give it to the arms of destiny, let's be irresponsible, and what if it burns, and then it burns, and that's all, and I don't care. And started to really started to calm me down a lot, and I was really happy about this, because it really reduced my stress so much, and it's actually something what really helped. And first one who told me this was my stepbrother. I complained to him that I can't leave the house, that I already nearly made it to the train, no, close to the house, but like a metro, I still nearly made it to the metro, and I have to return back, though I knew that everything was switched off, of course, but I had to come back and check it again. And he told me on the phone, I'm sure you switched everything off, if house burns, then house burns. He told me that, and I'm really happy he said that, because it really calmed me down much more, and I started to tell something similar to my own self.